Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 60 of Court of Swords. Zeke, you threw one. I didn't know how to help you today. It was the first time in 60 episodes, nay, 5 years of almost roleplay, where I didn't know how to help a cast member figure out their situation.
No, you can hear me all right, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, the weird thing is, I brought my camera, I brought my my own mouse and headset and all that shit, and I completely forgot my laptop charging cord.
I've done that before, and it's the worst feeling in the world. It truly is.
Because I was charging it the night before to make sure I had a full charge for whatever reason.
Yeah, you just ran out the door and forgot to unplug it.
Yep.
Happens. Is it a Razer? Or what was
no,
it?
it's a Ace. I think it's an Acer Republic. It's a Republic of Gamers.
Asus.
Gotcha.
Asus. Or Asus.
Asus. There you go.
Yeah.
Is it pretty standard? Like, is it one of the really beefy like gamer like laptop ones, or?
Yeah, that's
So
why
it
he was
requires,
like, "How much battery
big
time you
honking
got
one?
left?"
No.
Yeah, how much battery time you got left? Full charge, hour and 45.
Yeah. I just like that I was worried that, you weren't going to have a green screen and the show was going to look off. But now there's actually some symmetry here because the three of you guys are the non-professional ones. And me and Dan can just look at each other with intensity with our green screens as if we're in the same room. It works out. Yeah.
I decided it was a conscious effort for me not to have the green screen. One, because I was lazy, because it's in the other room and I didn't want to go grab it.
Yeah.
Two, I thought about it. I'm like, Zeke's going to be from Twitch today and he's not at home, so he's not going to have a green screen. So
that looks good.
It's fine. I can get away with it.
I always take the green screen down for shows now because of this sweet bokeh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need a change. We've gone 60 episodes now. And every time I look over at the monitor, I just see that stupid triangle hat on Adam, and it ruins.
Let me get it.
It just ruins all immersion for me.
Hello, everyone.
He's wearing a dumb triangle cap. I gotta fix that. we need to get rid of it.
Thing is, you're gonna fix it, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get a cone of yellow paper, and I'm just gonna wear it during the show.
Yeah, we'll make sure you have that for the live show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't start the stream until you're wearing your dumb little triangle cap. Yeah.
Pyramid of gold on my head. Yep.
Yeah. You might have said this yesterday on Enable Jazz, so pardon people if they've heard this, but what prompted the orange, Adam? You're just looking. It looks good, but it looks like a starburst orange. It looks.
Yeah. And I was. I don't know. Like I had put off dyeing it, like re-dyeing it again for like months, and it was getting long, and I was like, oh, let's just do something different. So I went for this lovely gradient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does that orange fade out? I know nothing about dyeing hair. We talk about hair a lot on this show as well, which is always so funny to me.
I'm pretty sure the Court of Swords pre-show is very like hair centric. It depends. Like in the winter, it doesn't fade out as fast. Sun fades it way faster than anything else. But it'll turn like more peach and like cotton candy as the weeks go by.
Oh. Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't find that it fades that fast. My hair takes color pretty well.
That's good. How's the Monster Hunter going for you, Adam? You hunting the monster still?
I was saying this on stream the other day, like for people who are exposed to so many video games, it can be a little numbing. You can be like, cool, and a new video game that everybody's excited about, and I guess it kind of okay. You play it and you're like, it's good, I guess. But to be really excited about something because you've liked it for a long time and you're really excited about the next thing coming out, there's always that fear of like, okay, please don't be bad. Like, please don't let me down. Just please be good. And it comes out, and Monster Hunter has been it's fun, and I'm really happy about that. Like playing it and being like, yes, thank Jesus it's good, and I actually care about playing it, and I want to. That feels really nice. It's the thing that stops it from feeling like tedious. Yeah. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. I'm just taking it slow. I'm not kind of like going in on like, back-to-back 16-hour streams or whatever, like some folks.
It's real bad, man.
Yeah, like, no, I like it. I like finding a monster and then just killing the shit out of it for hours until I have all of the tiny pieces of it that I need, and then moving on to the next thing.
I noticed last night when I put the game down at 3 a.m. after another 14 or 15-hour day, not streamed, mind you. I only streamed 8 hours yesterday. I put the controller down and my hands felt weird because a controller wasn't in them for the first time in a very long time.
I feel like deep down inside of you, JP, there's this like romantic poet trying to get out, and then occasionally you'll express a feeling like that, and I'm like, oh, look at that. That's very deep.
It felt
Your controller.
yeah.
My hands are empty without
I
you.
was tight. I was like, man, this keyboard feels so weird. I haven't had that happen. I don't know if I've played a console game as much as I have Monster Hunter in a very, very long time. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Probably like Halo 2 was the last one I went crazy with. That was eons ago. Dan, you seem to be pretty addicted to it yourself as well.
Yeah, this is like my first full Monster Hunter. I've only played like the Wii U one. I played like the first few monsters in that game, and that's all I did. So this is like my first full experience with Monster Hunter, and I'm just absolutely loving it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love watching people like play it for the first time, or like because it's so broad. Like some people are like, I only ever played like one of them on the PSP, or like everybody's got this like other Monster Hunter experience they had, and it's kind of like D&D that way, where they're like, well, I played it like in high school. So it's neat seeing people come into it. So you're finding what's like grabbing you about this one that didn't in the Wii U version?
The thing was mostly just timing in the Wii U version. Like it came out at a weird time, and there was a lot of other games coming out, so I didn't really give it the attention it needed. But this one, there's nothing real go out right now, so I've just been have all this time to play it, and I've just been getting absolutely addicted to it.
Yeah,
just learning each monster, how to gear up to fight specific ones. So I'm getting to that point in the game where it's like you got to like prepare for monsters. You can't just like brute force it anymore. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun.
It's pretty addicting for sure. We'll cut the Monster Hunter conversation short because they talked about it for about 20 minutes on Nebula Jazz, and we'll be talking about it more on Drop Frames tomorrow for about an hour with Zeke and Co and Maximilian, dude. But yeah, it's a good game. Dan, have you done anything else besides play Monster Hunter, or is that your life like mine? Yeah,
that's been all I can think about in my head right now is, man, I need to farm Ugon a few more times. I gotta get another piece. Where's my ruby? I need the ruby off of him.
Yep, it's true. It's true. Zeke, first off, you're in the Twitch offices. Let's just get that out of the way.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you're.
I'm in the gaming office.
Yeah, shout out.
It's weird to wear jeans.
For the show. Yeah. Shout out to the Twitch folks for getting me set up in a room with I think we started having a conversation 40 minutes ago when you told me your power was running low, so that's good on them.
Like zero notice. I was like, hey, so I'm an idiot. And they're like, we got you, all right. Yeah. Come on down. Like a boss. Like, yeah, come on now. We got a place for you to stream. Oh, you don't even need to bring anything. We got the whole thing ready to go.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy.
Make sure you book a time tomorrow for Drop Frames as well.
Oh, shit. No. Okay. Fuck, I forgot that too. Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how badly I fucked myself.
It's all good. The best part about that, though, is you'll be there before most of the Twitch people are actually working. So you'll have the office to yourself there at 10 a.m. It'll be great. It'll be great. What are you in San Francisco for? Did you already say that?
No, I've said it before, but I'm here for the hosting workshop. I'm going to be working with some people, telling them my experience and giving them a little rundown in an improv class, teach them the importance or what it's done for me, and have them run some games and stuff. It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
It's 2 days. I mean, that's just my little section. I mean, there's 2 days like chock full of just info. Yeah. But that's me like teaching other people what I'm consider myself good at. Nice.
Obviously somebody else considers you good at it too, or is at least taking your word for it.
Yeah, they wouldn't just let anyone do that.
Insecurity never leaves you. I'll just let you know that right now.
That's true. That's true.
I'll be insecure for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I saw that you were someone, maybe it was yesterday, I forgot when. I think it was yesterday. You jumped into Subnautica and you got scared. Something scared the shit out of you in the game.
I got startled, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Am I breathing into the microphone? Sorry.
Not too bad.
No, there was that moment that I'm sure it happens to everybody. Their first day playing it, that one thing happened. And you're just like, ah, Jesus! Like out of nowhere, there's a clip, very good clip of that. But I couldn't do it, man. It's base building exploration.
Pretty
I
much,
just
yeah.
couldn't. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow if I can get a place to broadcast from again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never been my thing. Like Rust. I mean, name a base building exploration game, and I feel boring when I play it.
Gotcha. Yeah, the game's definitely like a passive experience.
I think that's why so many of the people that stream it rely on like doing the RP stuff, because the games themselves are like hella tedious. So you have to kind of make your own fun when you play them. Yeah. Which like I would rather pay a game company to make fun for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me check my email real quick. Hold on.
Okay. We're doing a live email checking. He's announced it.
Yeah, I gotta check my email and see if I can
riveting content here.
Get a room tomorrow.
The pre-show.
Oh yeah, got that invitation. Oh
nice.
Shit, Tris is on this shit.
Nice. Saved.
So when you had your revelation, I don't know if you saw this, Zeke, but Tris was in chat and she just put in motherfucker.
Tris is a Twitch staffer.
I've been around her long enough that I can hear that in her voice now.
Yes. That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's nice. It's nice knowing, Zeke, that you're there amidst people who will babysit you for the rest of the week, and that we don't have to worry about you like getting lost or not feeding yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I that bad?
Actually, I wonder if you could go get catering right now, Zeke. Oh wait, no, it's only 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
During
some nice catered
when we take our break
or whatever.
Go to the Twitch cafeteria and get dinner. It'd be good.
Yeah. No, I think I think it happens at 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna definitely go check that out for sure.
Just yell at someone to go get you food. Just open the door and say, "I need food," and then just shut it and see what happens. That's how you can work there as a partner.
It's kind of like going up to a cop and be like, "I pay my taxes and I pay your goddamn salary." You're like, "I'm a Twitch streamer and I pay for all of this."
Yeah.
I find that shit works really well with cops. Like really well. You'll never get a bad response reminding them that you pay your taxes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure it'll get the same response.
Who's
here.
that guy?
Whoa, Echo. Do you have an Echo there, Berg or Max? I'm calling you Berg now. I don't even call you Max. You're not even a person.
An Echo?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Oh,
I thought you did that.
I'm gonna talk at this volume again. Is it there again?
No. I don't know why.
All right, that was weird.
Your voice, it just has an echo to begin with. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Well, cool. I'm glad you got situated, Zeke. Max, I heard you're trying to fix your sleep schedule. How's that going?
I'm running on about 4.5 hours of sleep.
You know, did you already stay up for 24?
No.
That's the best way to, in all my years of fixing sleep schedules, multiple times, just stay at 24 hours and just go to sleep.
Well, that's probably what I would have done, but it wasn't an option because the show. So I kind of made a compromise. I stayed up and streamed while I knew I was going to be, my body was not going to, sleep at all.
Yeah.
And then around like 12 or so, 11:30, 12 my time, I would sleep and then woke back up at like 4:30. And now I'm here. And then I'm probably going to try to stay up a little bit longer, maybe stream a little bit of the hunt showdown and then go to sleep.
Fixing sleep schedules is so bad. It's so awful.
Here's what you do, Max. This will fix it for you. So after you're done your stream, take off your shoes and your socks. You walk around on the rug barefoot. You make fists with your toes. I'll clear it all up for you.
What?
I promise, it works. Sounds crazy.
Why does that work? I'm perplexed. What?
Is there a joke? I think there's a joke here, but I don't.
It flew over my head too. If there is.
I'm fucking confused.
There you go, Chet. Chet's got it.
Oh, it's a Die Hard thing.
Oh, it's a
Have you
Die
not seen
Hard.
Die Hard?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen Die Hard in a long time. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh man.
At first I was like,
so disappointed.
At first I was like, is he calling me like a primate? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
I was like,
It's all right.
I didn't know where he was going with that. And I've seen Die Hard like pretty recently too, so
I was so confused.
It's not that long ago, y'all.
Yeah.
No, I just haven't seen it in a long time, so there wouldn't have been in my kind of Rolodex of like movie.
I think about Die
stuff.
Hard pretty much every day, so it's fine.
Makes sense.
I'm so confused. I'm like, I know I'm tired, and I know I don't have the most sleep right
Aw,
now.
little guy.
Is this with your toes? What are you? Did you just say that?
Yeah, before you joined the call, I was telling everyone, it's like I don't know if Max is gonna be here today. He kind of stayed up 24 hours, or he's trying to fix his sleep schedules or something. You weren't on Skype, but then he messaged me, or like 5 minutes after. So
I'm okay. I'm here.
yeah. Why is your sleep schedule so fucked up to begin with? Let's go there. Let's go down that path.
It was basically like 2 or 3 days ago, something like that. It was one of those your brain wouldn't shut off, kind of thing, and you just kind of start like, God, I really hope it shuts off. This sucks. I really want to not screw up my sleep schedule, and then your brain just keeps going and it keeps going. You're like, fuck, it's now 3:30 a.m. and like,
The worst.
Now it's 4:30. Like, so that happened multiple times, and then I just kind of embraced it because I knew that it was fucked. So, and also I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves with friends and stuff and having fun with that.
How is that? I never touched that game. It's out. It's done, right?
Fun,
you can't play it anymore.
Yeah, I think it ends tonight sometime. Okay. It's fun, but it's a beta, so there's not so much in it. There's a bunch apparently that was super, super left out. Surprise, surprise, of course. It's not the full game. You kind of do have to play with friends, in my opinion, in order to keep the fun going. And the best part of that is ship combat and like coming up on somebody who's like docked and it's a full galleon and you're in a full galleon and you just like pull the anchor real quick and they don't even get a chance to get a shot off and you just fucking destroy them while they're panicking running back to their ship. Like that stuff is cool. Or just like having like a firefight in like a big storm or something like that, shooting cannons across at each other. Yeah, that's really cool. The quest stuff is pretty neat, but there's only so many quests you can do in the beta that are pretty, kind of sort of copy paste. Some of them are like pretty cool, like, hey, go to, there's like little notes and says go to this island, check out this spot. And then once you find that spot, it'll tell you to go to another spot. And some of them, it's like, go to find the painting of the boar fight. It's like a painting on a rock of like a boar and like, some old stuff of like people poking it with a stick. And you play music in front of that. But it'll tell you, like in more eloquent or kind of riddle sort of speech to do it. It's cool. It's fun. But a lot of people, I think, got bored on it. And me too. Like I think I did pretty much everything there was to do. I saw Dan was playing it solo. I'm like, how fun that's going to be. Was it fun, Dan? Did you enjoy it for very long? I was going to say, I don't think it would.
No. Running a ship by yourself is a pain in the ass because, like, okay, the wind's changing. I got to run over, grab the sails, change the sails, run back, steer because it just started turning it on its own. And then you got to run. Oh, I got a leak. I got to run downstairs, repair it, then run back up to the wheel. It's the biggest pain in the ass ever. And the quests are not worth doing. Like, it's not a game about the PvE. It's all about PvP. Yeah. It's about playing with your friends. If you don't play with friends, it's god awful boring.
That sounds bad. Max, can you hear me, by the way? I don't think Max can hear any of us. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to figure it out.
And he's blinking.
I know. No, that happened. I saw that. I'm not sure why. I don't know why. What's going on? We'll coordinate.
Triangle Hat, what do you think?
Triangle
Let me
Man.
consult.
Oh my God! Do you guys remember Triangle Man? Who sang Triangle Man? What was the name of that band?
They Might Be Giants.
They Might Be Giants.
There you go.
Yeah. He didn't like that Particle Man very much. No, he did not.
There's a funny theory about that song that's completely untrue, but this guy went in depth about like Triangle Man is the Holy Trinity, Person Man is humans,
right? Like, yeah, of course.
And like Universe Man is God and stuff like that, and man loses to the Trinity and Trinity loses to God or something like that. He went through this whole thing and it was really cool, like a page long synopsis of like what he thought Particle Man was all about.
I love that shit.
Speaking of like songs from my childhood actually making sense now instead of just being a song about Triangle Man. Do you guys know the song it's the Mighty Mighty Bosstones Knock on Wood, I think is the name of it?
The Impression That I Get?
Yes, The Impression That I Get. Do you know what that song's about?
No.
Getting
I try
an
really
STD.
hard not to listen. Oh, good. Nice.
The song's about
really
getting an
hard not to
STD.
listen to ska, so
that's great.
I loved ska back in the day, man. Dude, I did. I listened to like Op Ivy and like I don't know if they're really ska, but I listened to them and Rancid, like all the pop ska.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the members of Rancid would probably take some umbrage at your calling them a ska band.
Yeah, they might a little bit.
Of course they would. Just like fucking Nirvana would take umbrage of being called a grunge band.
I don't
Like,
think
yeah,
Rancid's punk, not ska. Do they have? I don't know. Maybe they've been around a long time.
When I
Maybe
think
there's
of Rancid, I think
No,
of
they
punk.
got the downbeat. They got the wank it, wank it,
yeah.
wank it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, if you like, because for me, ska is it's the horns, right? And most Rancid songs have horns, but yeah, the syncopation is totally, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's not the first, like the Police, they had the downbeat as well. Like they were big. It all comes from reggae, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ska is essentially like the opposite end of the reggae spectrum from like dub, where dub is just really slow reggae. Ska is like fast reggae.
Are there any current ska bands out there that are big? Or is
I remember growing up with ska bands in high school, and all of them were like pun names, like the OAK-47s.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. It was good. There was a lot of good ska bands, and now there's.
Catatonic.
I don't think any of them exist.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any currently active.
Less
ska
Than Jake
bands.
wasn't ska. That was more punk. That was
pop punk,
punk
for sure.
Pop punk. Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
Do you guys
looking at a list of
remember-
bands I've not thought about in a long time. You guys remember Goldfinger?
Oh, you want to hear? Do you remember the Squirrel Nut Zippers?
Oh,
They weren't
right.
ska, dude.
I know they weren't
Never-
ska. I know they weren't ska. I'm just saying, like '90s weird bands. The Zoot
People
Suit
thought
Riot.
that was gonna be another thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, but here's the thing. I will, in defense of the Squirrel Nut Zippers, they are really good. Whereas the Cherry Poppin' Daddies are not. Or like
Right.
what was the other one it was in Swingers, the very end song. What was it? The Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yes. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh.
Came to me. Where they had that swing revival, and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy is mediocre, but Squirrel Nut Zippers are actually very, very good.
Yeah.
I would say if I had to pick between like a jump blues revival and a ska revival, I would take the like swing jump blues thing every time. Probably just because the 90s were so cruel to ska. Like they just so bad.
We're giving a little
Wait
shout
for
out
it.
to XSplit here. Thanks, XSplit, for all that you do.
I didn't mean to do that.
The
Wait
official
for it.
sponsor or unofficial sponsor for RollPlay.
You even got the website in there.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wait
Go
for it.
check them. Go check them out for all your
Branding.
streaming needs. Yeah. I don't know what happened there, Max. Welcome back.
Yeah, hi, how's it going? I'm not using export. What are you talking about?
Max knows where's bread is buttered.
It's true.
For shit.
That's true. Subliminal advertising. Yeah. I'm just looking at chat now, naming all these bands. We were talking about ska while you were gone, Max.
Yeah, you missed
God,
a
I
long
need to get there.
Yeah. So Sea of Thieves, Pirates, ska, very, very close connection there between the two.
All right, so we're gonna start an indie game studio. We're gonna make a game about being a ska band in the mid '90s and trying to make it big in Southern California.
That'd be
Oh
great.
my god, I would play the fuck out of that game.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
you
my
just
new-
do that
that's
in
my new-
Rock Band though? Can't you just get all?
No,
ska bands?
it can't be a rhythm game. It has to be like some other genre, like a turn-based JRPG or something. Because I think the easy route would be a ska-based.
Okay, what if you're a ska band
you just play the same two notes over and over
and
over?
you have to hunt monsters in the ska while being in the ska? Let's workshop it some. We'll do that after the
Right.
show. That'll be great. Yeah,
All right.
that'll be great. Max, are you good? Are we stable?
Am I stable?
Oh, I don't know. You didn't answer right away
it's a
there, so
little-
I was a little worried. You did the
Oh
camera.
no,
thing.
yeah, I'm here. Hi, how's it going?
Cool.
I mean, is it fine? It
Yeah,
seems fine.
it sounds good. It sounds good. Well, cool. Let's start the show. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Skapocalypse world. I love
5 minutes early.
5 minutes early. We're breaking out of the mold here.
Wow.
Also, we should note we have 2 to 3 We have, including today, we have 2 to 3 shows before our live show on.
I need to get a water. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. On February 17th. So, yeah, it's gonna start kind of culminating to hopefully a big story arc point, and then we'll do our live show. least that's the plan.
Yeah, it's with the live stuff in the middle of a campaign. It's always kind of like, okay, what's a thing that I can latch onto now, but I never know until like right before the episode. So we'll make it a killer 8 hours, but I'm gonna have to take a guess at what that's gonna look like right before we do the episodes. So.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
One thing for which I am thankful of a long plane ride, because I spend those plane rides just like making notes. Like, and then what if a wizard? I do wonder sometimes. I wonder sometimes if the people sitting next to me on those planes are like, "What is he doing?" Because you know how people are like when you're on a plane, they kind of like can't help but like look at what you're up to.
It happens, yeah.
Like, you're that close to each other, you're in that close proximity, and yeah.
He's writing about wizards. What is he doing?
Yeah, like what is this? Why is he writing about these things? Yeah.
I always feel that way whenever I'm on a plane, and it doesn't happen very often nowadays. Specifically like pulling out like a laptop and like firing up some sort of game that like looks really, really interesting, kind of thing. But that is always a magnet for anybody, because nowadays games just look so fucking cool, especially depending on what you're playing.
God, where was I going? I was flying. It was like a long flight. I think it might have been a flight to Japan, but the people in the seats in front of me, they watched like the entire first season of True Detective, which not necessarily appropriate the whole show to just watch on a plane with a bunch of people around you.
Yeah. Look, I've told this story before. I watched Sully while on an airplane, and I didn't think about the consequences till after it was over. And the person next to me was just staring at my iPad.
Who sits down on an airplane, pops open their laptop, and they're like, "What should I watch in this flight? How about kids? I haven't seen kids in a while. Let's watch Brown Bunny. That'll be a good one. Nobody will mind that shit. That'll be great.
Yeah,
for the whole family.
That's good stuff.
Yep. So, treasure room.
Indeed, that's where we left off. I am unconscious for 4 hours as you rolled.
Dead wizard storage. Yeah. Unless Ramus has some healing magic or someone's got a potion or something they want to apply, Sully is going to be out for a little while.
Yeah, I'll start channeling.
Yeah, I was gonna say let me set the scene before we do this, just so people who maybe missed the end of the last episode or whatever can kind of catch up. So
sure.
In the chamber in which you are currently residing, there is an enormous sort of central to the scene. There is an enormous stone bowl made of the same white and green marble that the rest of the seclusium is made out of, and in it is a now smoking layer of clear water upon which vague images seem to dance and fade as we tune into it. The room itself is scattered with treasure. There are chests, coins, various objets de treasure that a wizard might, hoard away. And lying on the ground, now destroyed by hammer attack and magic spell, are two enormous insectoid constructs of some kind. But they are very destroyed. They're lying still in puddles of their own fluids on the ground. And at the back of the room, almost altar-like, there is a massive wood and stone grown together throne. There's no other word to describe it. And sitting in the throne, head back, chest splayed in some kind of macabre display, you see the body of the wizard Utrix. And Utrix's torso, his lap, and the ground around his feet are covered in a writhing mass of tiny, iridescent golden insects.
Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, little metallic beetles. And they appear to be issuing from this wound in his chest. It is a bloodless scene. His rib cage seems to be like evenly divided. Each bone cut open and seared at its edges. And his chest cavity is empty of organs. There's no heart, no lungs, no liver. But with a wizard like Utrix, who knows? He could have bargained them away to devils, 1,000 years ago in exchange for power. So it's a little hard to gauge just how weird this scene is. Now, you were drawn here by Ramus's magic, right? Ramus's spell, which has now been left by the wayside. But the spell originally drew you to this spot deep beneath the seclusium. So Sully lies propped up against the pillar, having made a bad call, and the rest of you are recovering.
We should do goals
Agni,
before we push in, before we push in the story.
Agni is kneeling, fascinated by the creature and kind of like tuned out. But yeah, that's a good point. Let's make sure our goals are checked in here. So, Berg, I have your goals as unlocking the power of Agni's gift, your new appendage, finding out why bad things keep happening to you, and reattuning the apology, which is now an enormous piece of innate metal that is dripping some kind of black and purple fluid. Would you like to keep those goals, or would you like to change any of them out?
He's just not on today. You can tell he's on 4 hours of sleep with that mute.
Mother, listen, hey, shut up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep those goals in. I can't think of any other ones right now, especially not with 4 hours of sleep. You know, because
that's fine. It's
true.
You know,
No.
Take a nap, take a long rest. Fine. Okay.
Yeah, take a long rest.
Ramus, I have you with finding out the identity of the fifth guest. I have leave the wizard seclusium with something magical, and the goal that did not happen last time, which I assume you're going to want to replace. Save Zeridas's life. Which did not
happened for like a second. For a whole round, he was saved.
Yeah. The problem with wanting to save someone's life is that if they ever die, you failed.
It's true.
So what do you think for that last goal? Do you have an idea, or do you want to think on it?
I want to figure out why the spell is detecting Utrix when he appears dead.
Oh, okay, sure. So, is Utrix dead or alive?
Yeah, find out like what's going on with Utrix that the spell would still detect him.
Yeah, that should be simple. Okay. Sully Hoffa.
What was that, Max?
What was that, Max?
No, I was just gonna say I feel like Berg's never gonna level up again anytime soon. Just everyone else seems to like set these goals and change them. They're like, yeah, I can accomplish this in a fairly decent amount of time. Berg's like,
yeah, I mean, Berg has more like Jeff style goals where you're gonna gain like 2 levels at once.
Yeah, you would think it would equate to that.
There's different strategies, right? Like the goals that you have are all pretty high level in terms of XP dumps.
When and if I get them, it's gonna be like Berg double. It's gonna be like Skyrim year, and then immediately right after that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that can definitely happen. So Sully Hoffa, you I have you want to find out what Utrix's goal was.
Yep.
The aim to use his power.
I think is that still possible?
Yes, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah, because even if he's dead, even if he is dead and
You can
gone
still
forever,
figure it out. Yeah.
you can still figure it out by his research or whatever, because you haven't found his experiment.
Right.
You want to figure out what killed him, and
Now-
what killed Zeridas. But
We
if
talked
it's the
about
same-
that in the post show. Did that complete? Because I
No, I think so. That one, like, yeah, it depends, right? Like, what would be the answer to that question?
the answer would be whatever is in that scarab tomb is what killed Zaradoz. Right? Because didn't I scry? I want to see what killed Zaradoz.
Yeah, I think it's fair to resolve that goal. It's not. I didn't set it as a particularly difficult goal, and I think that's an okay way to interpret it.
Okay.
You saw but did not understand, which means you could make another goal to understand it.
Well, yeah, I could make another goal saying find the name of what killed Zaradoz.
Yeah, you're level 5.
Yes.
I set that one. Okay, so that is for you. That's 1,000 experience.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have that. I have find out why the fountain cracked, which I didn't figure out. I don't know why, really.
Yeah, not yet. You know, it has something to do with either Berg or the hammer or both. But
yeah.
and then you have a third goal slot now because you've cleared
Yeah,
that other-
I'll think on that for a couple minutes. Go to Zeke.
Okay, sure. Kalimat, find out what was in the oubliette, track it down, and then figure out what happened to you between when you let it go and now. Are you still interested in those things?
Sorry. I'm not sure what, like, 'cause it didn't seem like there was a whole bunch of time between, like it wasn't like hours. It wasn't like the next day. It was only just a little bit.
It would have been like a single scene, but it also could have been like the prisoner telling you some deep, dark secret, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really want to find out all those things. I want to find out what it was, what happened, and where'd he go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What it is, where is it? Yeah, and then what happened to me in between. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
Yep.
So with those goals in
that,
mind,
that thing you told me to remind you last time.
Yes, I wrote it down. You won't know more about it until you have a chance to rest. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So we fade in on that scene that we described before. The sort of sudden quiet that comes after a battle. The gentle cracking and groaning of the material around you. Right. This plane, in so much as its physical form is coming apart under both the supposed or seeming death of its creator and the assault of his prisoners escaping and tearing the place up. But down here, that's all kind of low grade, like rumbling, and the real sound is the kind of almost fluid hissing of these insects like crawling over one another in a pile at the feet of the wizard Utrix. What is everybody doing? What are you gonna do? Berg, you've just come out of a haste spell, so you're like a little dizzy. Ramus, it sounded like you had something you wanted to do.
Yeah, as soon as the battle ends, I start channeling a prayer of healing to heal everyone. That takes 10 minutes.
Okay, sure. So you're gonna take 10 minutes and call upon the tower's energies to heal everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go check on Solly, make sure he's okay and not dead.
Yeah, he's a little burnt, but he's alive.
I had to stop myself from saying, "Cradle his turtle head."
Yikes! Yeah, so he's okay. He's doing all right. Something happened with the scrying pool that it backfired or something like that.
Now, Adam, when it backfired, did I see anything or what? Like you just said that I took
no, you
7 damage.
You caught a glimpse of light, and then either the pool or whatever you reached out to on the other side struck back against your intrusion.
Okay.
So you saw nothing.
Gotcha.
Berg, what are you up to?
Berg's probably making sure everyone else is good. You know, kind of that's coming out of the haste and stuff. Everything, like you said, is sort of a little bit of a blur. He trying to remember exactly the scene. I mean, everything's dead, right? That we know of. Utrix is still there.
I mean, aside from the scarab swarm, yes, everything is. There's quiet in the room.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that there's like copious amounts of gold just laying around. Like this is a full-on treasure room. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Berg doesn't really pay attention to treasure rooms, does he? Yeah, I think he's just chilling, making sure that everyone else is good. And then also kind of like after he's done that a little bit, like staring at everybody like with a sense of urgency, because we're still kind of rumbling. The place is coming apart,
the
right?
Place is going,
just, like,
yes.
We're just not, like just sitting in this cool room. Like
the world is literally ending. Yes. Unless that's why you came down here, right? Like the idea was that Utrix's will keeps the place from crumbling. And so with the death of the wizard Utrix, this place is falling apart. So even if you were able to repel the demons and send away all of the bad things that are crawling their way through his shield, now that it's fallen, without the wizard, there is no realm. There is no seclusium. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I think that's more or less what he's doing. What is Agni doing? I think is a good question too.
She's
what's her
staring,
reaction right now?
Yeah, she's staring at the construct, like just dumbfounded.
Yeah. I think Berg is also kind of examining the construct a little bit too, just because the last time he saw one of these didn't really. I think this is the closest that we've been, other than just for him running away. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that was a long time ago, but I think this is the closest he's seen them up.
So yeah, so this thing, it's clear that it's been made, right? It's got plates of gold. Its eyes are made of glass. The edges of its mandibles are sharpened in the way one would sharpen a sword, and you can see the places where these pieces fit together. But there's no, like, it's not the crude machinery of the rock gnomes, right? This is something else. You see no tubes for carrying fluid. You see no rivets to hold the pieces together. It is assembled by some more arcane machinery than certainly you've ever seen. And there's no question that's what has Agni's attention, right? Is that she's looking at it like, and I think she's kind of shaking her head and saying like, fascinating. She's lost all sense of where you are or what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think maybe
she's
Berg
like focused on this thing.
I think maybe Berg recognizes that and be like, strange, isn't it?
More than strange, it's a masterwork. I've never known anyone, mortal or god, who could create something like this. If it wasn't so big, I'd take it with me.
We do not have the time. And Berg just kind of motions like shit's falling apart.
Yeah, it's as if she had forgotten that, and she looks at you and she says, oh, yes, of course. And then she turns to look at Utrix, and her face sort of falls, and she says, oh, is he, and this is to you, Ramus, because she's seen you like tending to the injured. Is he, he looks very dead.
That's what's troubling me the most is he looks dead, but the tower is telling me he's not. The spell I cast wouldn't be able to detect him if he was truly dead. Something's going on.
Is it safe to say prayer of healing already went off?
Yes. Yeah, you're waking up now.
Okay. I think I interrupt and just say.
Yep.
So sorry, before you go. So
Okay.
Sully, all you remember is like looking into the pool and then being knocked unconscious. You wake remembering just the tail end of a fleeting dream of Turtle Town, like falling apart, like the dome cracking and flooding in the streets and people running and panicking. And that's all you remember, like something about your like childhood home, but filling with water, and that the dream slips from your mind as sand through your fingers as you wake up.
Okay.
And
probably,
everyone heals for 16, by the way.
Great.
Oh, nice.
I wake up to Ramus saying, the spell said he was here. And I think I just say, look for him in the, and I point to the giant bowl, the scrying bowl, but be careful. And I kind of just like make the notion of I'm on the ground because of this.
I look into the bowl and I think about Utrix and his connection to these beetles. What's the connection is what I'm thinking in my head. And as I'm looking into the scrying bowl.
Make what did I make you roll before?
It was
so
a
wisdom save.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was against the defense. Okay, make an Arcana check, Ramus.
Okay.
Ramus gets knocked on his ass.
Wow, 5.
No, it's so the bowl. It seems to be losing its power. As with everything else here, you look into it and you see vague images. You see what looks like the inside of a monastery, all gold and red, kneeling supplicants, and an out of view idol. You hear vague chanting, and it flickers, and and you can see that the water level in the pool is slowly draining as it sort of boils away. There's like the edge of the water is steaming.
Can I jump in there before it's done?
Yeah, you want to like do something?
Yeah, I wanna find the thing, whatever it is that I let loose.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So I think I'll get you to make the same. Make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Yeah. Sure, it's not charisma.
It's Arcana.
Okay. All right. Big 9.
No, I don't think so. I think that the pool has it's done its work. The scrying pool has finished its business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we must hurry, of course.
Sally, help me check the body. There could be something on his body or around him. Explain what's happening.
Can you cast the spell again, Ramus, to see if Utrix is still here?
No, I can't. The power that is given to me only in limited amounts each day is gone.
Nice.
What?
Nice. That's that good World of Warcraft RP. You're doing it. I like it.
Yeah.
You can't just pray and have your whoever give it. Never mind.
The tower's gifts are infinite, but limited by time.
I'm slowly standing up and maybe laughing at the fact that this conversation's happening in the first place. And I walk over to Ramus. You want help looking at these beetles? Is that...
First, let's check the body. There could be something on him. Notes, anything. Diary.
Extend my hand. By all means, you first. I'm not sticking my hand in there.
Yeah. So the body, Utrix is in flagrante delicto. He's naked, and is broken open and crawling with these beetles. His head is rolled back and his eyes sort of gaze sightlessly at the ceiling.
Are these beetles escaping somewhere?
They're just crawling around on him.
Okay. They're not eating him or anything? Corpse? Okay.
Adam, I want to make my third goal, discover the origin of these beetles, not in nature, but in this area. Like why they're here in this specific room or in this specific area or how they got here, etc.
Okay.
I would like to look around the throne, Adam, for any or whatever he's sitting on, for anything he may have dropped, any items like that look interesting, like that he dropped, or anything that's around the throne.
You make an investigation check.
Can I help?
Yeah, you can do it with advantage if Sully's helping you.
I have a 7,
okay.
But it doesn't matter who rolls.
Okay, you roll. You roll then. And you have advantage then. I'll help you.
Okay. Well, thank God for advantage. 19.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing hidden around here. There's a metal chalice lying on the ground with some like wine that's spilled out of it. But it looks like something like he didn't just come in here naked and hang out on the throne. Like there are wisps of fabric kind of like laying around. And you can see, I guess, in on one side of his head, his hair has been like shorn down in an odd pattern. And you can see that there are like there's a beetle like crawling around in his hair. And I think Ramus, when you get close to take a look at him, we see one of the beetles crawl up into his like esophagus, and his mouth kind of like hangs open, and it gets up into his mouth and then flies off. And then he lets out a faint groan, and his head lolls forward, and he looks at you and blinks hard. And under one of the black part of one of his eyes, you can see something wriggling. There's a glint of gold. And he looks up at you, and he says, "I had not thought to see her again, but she was just as I remember as a child. So beautiful." She's like kind of staring with this one eye, while his other eye kind of like bulbs, and like there's something moving around in it.
Who did you see?
He looks at you as if it's just like the silliest like question. He's like, "My mother, of course. Fitting, I suppose."
What are these beetles coming out of you?
And he looks down and he sees them crawling around. And he holds his hands up, and one of them like crawls up into his palm and just kind of flicks its wings at you. How odd. I don't know.
Where's
Just kind
your
of
experiment?
stares off into space. I don't think he can really hear you. I think he's just kind of like staring off into the distance.
Like a man that has 1,000 beetles crawling out of him and split open.
Right, yeah.
As you do.
As that conversation's occurring, I'm trying to like trace the beetles to see if they're particularly going into parts of the room or just
They're not moving from this spot. They just seem to be like writhing around in the area. They're not like coming from somewhere into him. They're just like hanging out on and around his body.
Are they like eating him or are they just hanging out?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're you got a 19. It looks like they are renovating. So you can see that on one side of his head, like where they've kind of like cut away at his hair, there's a beetle that is just sort of gently like poking at his skin with its little front legs. The rest of the beetles seem to be like making room inside of him, sort of chewing away at excess material, creating a hollow cavity. And I think that if you look, like there's a couple of them like on one shoulder, and there's a pattern of like runes or some kind of lattice work pattern that's forming under his skin. And you can see there's like a lump moving around. There's like a beetle under his skin that is doing something under there that's creating this glowing pattern on his shoulder.
Would it be
like
safe to say that
out.
they're rebuilding him?
I wouldn't say rebuilding. They're not repairing previous damage or anything.
Have you seen these runes before? Are they some sort of spell?
He looks at he looks at his shoulder and he looks at you and he says, "No, this was no magic. I had no defenses. So arrogant to think I could have stopped them. It was the guest."
Walking up, and
Yeah,
I kind of split the two, Ramus and Sully, like not like forcefully, but like get in there, and I ask him, who was the prisoner in the oubliette?
Lost traveler. I found him drifting in the chaos. Thought to imprison him in darkness might learn something, but even this place, glorious treasure of the Sahir's imagination, was not enough to hold him. I could never have known. And you can see he's like smiling when he says this. Like, whatever happened to him, whatever horrible thing happened to him, he's just like kind of excited about it.
Well, I'm sure someone who gets wishes all the time, when he's surprised, it's kind of nice. I'd imagine. Like, if you can surprise God, you're like, oh, hey, pretty good. A traveler from where?
Out. Now he's just like staring at the beetles, and I think we see the one on his hand is crawled up onto his finger and is like just eating away at his finger. You can see like the bone sticking out where it's just like eating the flesh of his hand, and he's just looking at it as it like kind of takes him apart.
Can I like push his chin up a little bit to get him eye to eye with me one more time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give me his name. Give me its name.
He shakes his head. I did not know. Could not. And he looks at you with his one good eye and says, you spoke with it. The prisoner, didn't you? What did you see? Tell me. And he tries to reach up with a hand, but the beetles have consumed the like ligament in his arm, and so his top part of his arm lifts, but the rest of his arm is just limp. And so he just kind of like tries to reach for you and like tumbles forward a little bit into your arms.
I catch him if I can and put him back in the throne.
Yeah.
Yes, I spoke to him. But I didn't learn anything.
What did you see? What form did it take?
He knew what I wanted to. He knew what I wanted to see. I wanted to see one of my kind, and there one of my kind stood before me.
And he nods slightly, and the skin on one side of his face is starting to sag because it's like coming loose from his skull. And he says, he says, yes, the form of family. Of course, it all makes sense.
Form of family? Whose family?
There's a kind of wet, like crunching sound, and his like neck gives out, and his head tips forward and comes loose from his body and like tumbles down into his lap. And a bunch more of these gold beetles come up out of the hole in his neck and just start cleaning up. They just start like one of them closes the artery before too much blood comes up. A few more come back onto the throne and just start like cleaning the blood from it. And the beetles in his lap start swarming up over his head. And he just sort of like has this oblivious grin before the golden cloud kind of pours up over him. Yeah, like within the next minute or so, like piranhas, they just like strip the flesh from his body. And all that is left, I think, unless someone wants to try to jam their hand in there and do something, I will give you the opportunity to do so. But they're just like they're eating him up. He's just being processed. Doesn't sound like anybody wants to do anything.
No, is there anything besides organs and sinew and fat and muscle worth grabbing?
No, so it's all very like quick and clean. And when they're done, when they kind of separate over and leave the throne, instead they kind of blend into the gold around them. All that is left is this kind of dull metal cube, about 2 inches to a side, unadorned, just sitting on the throne.
They turned him into a cube?
They didn't really turn him into it. It looks like waste product. Like it's just the only thing they couldn't or didn't eat.
No.
I'll pick it up and look at it, like see if it has any markings on it or something.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Are the scarabs running away, by the way? Just to jump in. Like, are they leaving the area?
No, they seem to just be in like standby. They've just spread out among the gold. So occasionally you'll see what looks like a gold coin like flicker these little iridescent green wings.
Okay, I want to take one of the jars and try to scoop them into it, if possible. That we're filling.
Yeah, I mean they're essentially just bugs. So let's have you make a DC.
Bugs.
Let's have you make a DC 10. DC 10 like dexterity like roll. To see if you can just scoop one up.
Can we do animal handling instead? Because I have a 2 in that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, animal handling, but apply your dexterity bonus instead of whatever it would normally get you to roll.
Fuck. Well, then it shouldn't matter, I guess. I'll roll this. Let me see what the bonus is. Well, it doesn't matter. I rolled a 19 flat. It's a 20.
Okay. Sure. Great.
Yeah, it'd be a 20.
Okay. Yeah, you catch one. You have like a jar and you scoop one up. Seal it in the jar, and it just kind of annoyedly like bangs off the walls a couple of times, flickers its wings, and then just settles down at the bottom of the jar.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll mark that on my inventory.
Okay. So Ramus, the cube, can you make an Arcana? No, make a religion check.
Okay.
Either one would be fine, but I think you would make a religion.
20.
Nice. Okay. Geez, you recall like a very old like scroll from the monastery, like pre-writing, like very, very early recording of anything, right? Of art. It's probably like a replica of like a cave painting or something of a procession of figures that you remember to be illustrative of early man, but like sentient life in the world, right? This is like a creator story. So it's a line of outlines of basically human shapes. They're just black lines with an empty center. There's this long procession of them. And then at the end, there is a multi-armed creature, also like, charcoal on the wall of a cave. So not very well made out. And in all of its hands, all of its arms, it's holding little black boxes. And it's handing one of them to the first person in line, who is kneeling like a supplicant with their hands out, and it's placing the cube in its hands. Yeah. So that's what you remember. Like, this cube immediately brings you back to that. It's supposed to symbolize like the giving of the gift of life to mortals from the gods or whatever came before the gods. It's a very, very old story, but that's the first thing that pops into your head when you see this.
I think I know what this is. I remember. Were they right?
When you look at it, as you're kind of like having this revelation, there is just the faintest trick. I mean, it could be just a trick of the light. You know in your heart that it's not, but us observing, you see like a flicker of light somewhere deep inside the metallic structure of this cube. Just like the tiniest glint of blue light.
Upon remembering the creature in the painting, would I draw similarities to the flash of the many-armed man we saw that was in charge of organizing all the souls?
It sounds to me like you are making that connection as a player, so you can certainly do that. Yes.
That brazen bastard took his soul from heaven. This is what they keep souls in heaven. The arrogance.
I'm probably like 5 or 10 feet from you, balling up the insect and turn around. What? You should not have that.
No one should have
damn
that.
right.
That's sacrilege.
I get closer to Ramus so that no one else say. I would not take that from here.
Kalima, you remember as they're having this conversation, you remember, because you made a roll about Utrix a long time ago, like a history roll. You remember there's a story about Utrix, right? That goes like Utrix's first crime against heaven, Utrix's first great blasphemy was that he worshipped himself above all, himself above heaven, himself above all other gods, that he was a religion of one that worshipped itself as God.
Adam, what would I know about putting souls into objects, not humans?
It is like A+, not done. Only like just the most like. So here's the thing, and everybody knows this story that lives in this world. There's only a certain number of souls in existence. There's like 555 billion or something. There's a certain number of them that make up life in the universe, all life, from insects to angels. There's only a certain number of souls, and taking a soul away from the cycle of reincarnation to imbue it into an object is blasphemy and heresy of the worst order, because you're taking away not only from reality, but from like a person who would be born with a soul. And so there's apocryphal information about what would happen if you did it. Like, maybe someone would be born without a soul, which would give the Mara someone to jump into. It leaves a door open for the devil to get in, or heaven will come and punish you for it. But it has been done, but is a bad thing, because souls can't be created. You have to get them from somewhere. So if you put a soul into an object, it has to be someone else's soul. However, souls are incredibly potent, being shards of the fountain's power. They are a massive source of energy.
So I say... What was that, Max?
I was going to say, especially one who had already some potencies about him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. How potent is that going to be?
So after I say to Ramus, like, you should not have that, I kind of have like a 1,000-yard stare looking off in the distance, and I turn. Agni!
She looks up from the Hulk.
A moment, please. A gesture over here.
She walks over.
I look at Ramus, and then I look back at Agni. Can you... No, I'm not asking you to do this. I'm simply asking if you can. Can you imbue a soul as a smith into a weapon?
scowls and spits on the floor, and it burns a hole in the floor. And she says something in primordial, like a curse, somewhere between a curse and like crossing herself. And she says, "Could? Yes, of course. Would I? Never. Heaven hates my family enough as it is. I don't need their inquisitors coming down and she like shudders. I wouldn't think to do it. No.
I direct her gaze but what if it was Utrix's soul? And I point to the box.
She looks at the cube.
Hand.
And Ramus, you're holding it still?
Yeah, I'm holding it in my hand.
She looks at it and she looks at you and she's like, "You shouldn't have that."
I was saying the same
No one
thing
should have that.
mere moments ago.
And she says, "No, that I don't mean that. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist anywhere outside of heaven. It's complicated, but the soul is not a physical object. It shouldn't be a physical object." And she looks at where Utrix, like at his throne, and she's like, "Oh, Utrix, what have you done?
Would a wizard that have created this place not have this? I don't question what he can do anymore. I'm just saying. Could that?"
She says, "See the thing is, there's only two ways of being. There's me, and my kind. We are our souls. It's why we can't die. Really, we go back to the source. Sometimes we lose ourselves. It doesn't matter. And then there's the other kind, you, and him, and points at the throne, sort of. You're this," and she kind of goes to like poke at Berg, but not actually touch him. Just be like, "This thing, like flesh. It's a costume. You wear it over your soul. It's why you can exist. Take part in the. That shouldn't be here."
Agni, could this be what Inanna wanted?
Even the Sahir are not so brazen as to interfere with these sorts of things. There are limits. There are rules. I don't...
This one did.
I can't believe that Utrix would do this. I won't.
But yet
He
it's
was
here.
arrogant.
If not him, then who?
There are far too many unanswered questions.
I agree. Do you think we leave this here while we make our escape, or do we take it with us and find its rightful place?
Well, none of us are allowed in heaven, which is where it belongs, on pain of death. And if we leave it here, the place will collapse around it, but souls can't be destroyed, much like they can't be made. So someone in heaven will come and find it. So just put it back where you found it, and an angel will come and pick it up, I'm sure.
Has anyone ever
These
bargained?
things have a way of working themselves out. That's how it goes.
Has anyone ever sold a soul to heaven?
You can't sell something that doesn't belong to you. Your soul, I mean, it's not yours.
Well, it's not my soul, it's that soul. Clearly someone wants it, you just said. Perhaps we find that person and barter with them. Perhaps even right now, we need to get out of this plane. It's falling apart.
I don't know what'll happen if you take a raw one of those back to where you're from, to the world. It could have, and I don't mean to be melodramatic here, consequences.
Maybe we don't have to take it back with us. You said you had a way of getting out of here. Can you return?
I mean, I can, but where I'd go, you can't follow. You'd be...
Not asking to follow. I was saying we'd stay here. You leave. Go and say that we have this soul, and we'll barter that for our lives out of this plane.
With whom? I don't think this place is going to last very long. And when she says that, as if to underscore her point, one of the cracks in the floor kind of widens.
Well, you said the experiment would help us get out of here. And that would be near Utrix, and I look around. All that's here is gold. We cannot take gold out of here.
She nods.
The hell is that?
I mean, you can. But no, I would suggest not being too laden by it. Listen, That's all that's left of you, Trix. That she doesn't even like looking at it. Just put it somewhere safe, and we'll figure out what to do with it later. Experiment. Where is it? He'd have kept it close by. There has to be a way. Somewhere around here. Something hidden. A doorway. A tunnel. Something.
Quick, everyone. Let's start looking.
Yeah, I walk over to the walls. I walk over to the wall directly behind the throne and start searching around.
Okay. All right.
Investigation.
Everybody's gonna search. Okay. So the two best of you can make investigation rolls with advantage.
I have a +7, so.
Okay. Who has the second highest investigation?
I have a 1.
I've got a -1.
So I guess me and
I
Ramus.
guess it's you.
Roll it up, Ramus.
Okay.
You first, Ramus.
Oh wait, with advantage, so roll twice.
Yeah, with advantage.
Yeah. 11 and 20. Hey, rolling well.
Nice. Okay. All right. So yeah, Sully, I think you find etched on the back of the throne, because the throne itself is this sort of massive edifice of stone. Etched on the back, there is there's an inscribing in a language. What languages do you speak?
Aquan, Draconic, Common, and Orcish.
Okay. Yeah, it's etched in runes that you don't recognize.
Well, the first thing I do, Agni, I need your eyes.
Yeah. So she pokes around the corner, and she's like, "Oh, no, I don't. It's the language of heaven. It's angelic, celestial. I don't." Someone tried to teach me once, but it's very complicated.
Do I know enough about languages to at least try and pronounce the words as if to make?
Oh, like Klaatu Barada Nikto, that thing? Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Like try to figure out the phonemes.
Yeah, I
because
just want to
think a lot
say
of-
the symbology in front of me.
Yeah, totally. A lot of magic is written in the language of heaven, that sort of thing. Yeah, make an Arcana check.
18.
Okay, good. Yeah. So you're able to say the words, or more or less say them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the incanting, yeah, there's a shift, and the throne moves forward, pushing beetles and gold aside. A bunch of coins tumble down into the recess below the throne. There's a set of stairs, and you can hear echoing from below a long, droning chant, the chant of many voices. I don't know if you've ever heard like Buddhist prayer like chant. It's this very like repetitive, monotonous kind of like sound,
Right.
very like droning, and you can hear it. There are multiples of people, voices chanting from down below, and there's a long stone stairway.
Okay. I turn to the others. I believe we found our experiment. We probably won't be coming back to this room, so if you do wish to fill your pockets, now's the time.
I like that plan.
Yeah, so let's
Yeah.
give it there could be many things in here that are very powerful.
Yeah.
Let's give it once over.
As Ramus says that, I want to start to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay. All right. So everybody else, you just want to you're gonna have 10 minutes to scour the room. Are you looking for anything in particular, or
I'm looking for stuff
just
that
like
doesn't
jamming
look-
shit in your bag at random?
I'm looking for stuff that doesn't look like it's gaudy, and I want something that looks mundane, because those are probably the most powerful things. Something a wizard would cast. If it's something mundane is in this room of wonderful things, it has to be something that he would want.
Okay. All right. Let me make anybody who's like searching for loot, make a perception check to try to tell the gold from the dross. And then I'll make a note, and we'll roll randomly when you get a chance to look at what you got. And I'll roll on a different table depending on how well you do. So
Am I getting Jesus, Dan. Am I getting a,
Ramus, you used your inspiration for that?
Yeah.
I figured. Nice, and you crit too.
Mm-hmm.
am I getting a bonus or anything for casting detect magic to begin with?
They're doing this while you're casting it.
Okay.
Kalimat, you wanna make a looting roll? Okay. So 27. Kali a 17. Okay.
We're just doing
And
straight up just perception rolls.
Yeah, just a perception check. Yeah.
I don't feel confident about it. I don't have inspiration, so. Yep, that's about right.
All right.
Berg just sees gold everywhere.
Berg finds a rock.
Okay. All right. So, Sully, you've given them 10 minutes to do this. You cast detect magic. I mean, literally everything around you is magic. This whole place is just like dripping with it. It's like a kaleidoscopic rainbow of magic. However, the beetles that you look at on the floor are like the magical equivalent of Vanta Black. They're like looking at a void. They are the inverse of magic. You cannot see them except by their absence, compared to the stone floor, which even on Earth contains just the tiniest bit of the fountain's magic, because all things do. They are a stain against it. They are the inverse of. You've never seen anything like this before. They're a gouge cut out of reality.
Okay. Am I seeing any like actual physical items besides gold that are radiating anything?
There's all kinds of miscellaneous shit.
Okay. I want to. I'm trying to think how I would decipher what would catch my eye the fastest, but I kind of just want to leave it up to a roll.
Yeah, you can make a perception roll if you're just looking for something that would be of potential interest to you. Grab some random thing.
Is there anything?
This is all quite like rushed looting.
Here's what I'll say. Is there anything that looks specific to Tortle culture?
No.
Okay.
No, not that you would see at the outset.
Is there anything that looks specific to? Here, I'll just roll a perception check because I'll just keep grasping. I'm grasping these rolls. 4. I'm right there with Berg.
Okay. All right. So for you, it's probably that it's overwhelming in a totally different way.
Okay.
It does occur to you though that everything down here is either useless in the sense that it like Utrix would use all of the magic items that would be of use to him, right?
Right.
So he would have them elsewhere where they would get. This is all storage. This is like treasure storage for the fancy looking shit. It doesn't have any like necessary purpose that he would be interested in.
Gotcha.
However, that's a pretty high bar. So
right.
Yeah. So I'll roll. You'll manage to grab something and jam it into your bag before you go, and we'll roll for it like later when you get a chance to actually look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if we were really thinking like while you guys were searching the room, I should have gone upstairs and looked at those pedestals with those things that were like museum displays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab that shit.
Yeah, they might have already been grabbed though by the.
Well, and that's a long way away too. Like it's upstairs quite a ways. So, but yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, they're over all of this. The sound of kind of rummaging through coins, the low rumbling of this place coming apart. By now, one of the pillars is like cracked and shifted. There's a big chunk of the ceiling that's fallen down. The floor is like breaking, and you can tell you're running out of time.
Yep. Is the second that happens, we must hurry. We need to go down quickly. Grab whatever you're going to take. Okay. And Berg, you go first. What was that, Zeke?
Is it lit down there?
Yeah, I think that if you look down on either wall, there are indents into the wall in various sort of random places, like shelves, and on them are huge crimson or scarlet candles flickering, and they give the place a warmth and a kind of a flickering orange glow.
Okay, I'll lead the way if need be.
I'm definitely not going down first, but yeah, we follow Kali.
Yeah, I'll probably yes, or Kalimat, and then Berg will follow up behind her.
Okay. Right. So you begin to descend. It is a long and winding staircase that leads down deeper into the Seclusium's inner kind of bedrock. And as you go, this repetitive, monotonous, kind of droning chant gets louder and louder. And eventually you come to, it flattens out into a room, maybe 30 feet to a side, with a large stone, not a fountain, but like it's a stone like trough with water in it. And there are silver, like long-handled silver spoons, kind of little bowls on silver handles. And there's a bell. And then there's a door. There's two big set of double doors, wooden, dark stain with gold banding on the doors ahead of you. The room smells like incense, and I think maybe you can see next to the door there are two of these enormous stone like containers full of sand with incense sticks like poking up out of them and like drifting up into the air.
You said there was that hum. Where is it coming from in the room?
It's coming from the other side of the door. The room, whatever's on the other side of the door, has like at least 20 people in it, all performing this chant.
I'd like to make a religion check to see if I can see if this has any religious significance that I've heard of in my travels.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. So it's reminiscent in some ways of Temple to the World, which is a not very worshipped god, but part of the arcana that represents like unity with the fountain. It represents the sort of like end of the journey. And something about this, the chant and the place reminds you. And the purpose of this trough is a purification. You would like wash ritually, like wash your hands, ring the bell to drive off bad spirits before continuing off into the temple proper.
I share that information with the group. So I've seen something like this in my travels before. Some sort of purification ritual. Like he's cleansing a spirit before going further. It's weird that he would have this here.
What was that, Zeke?
I said, how do we do that? How do we cleanse ourselves?
I explain how you say a prayer and you ring the bell and then you feel washed away of your soul feels washed of its imperfectness and stuff, and then before you walk forward, more of a symbolic thing.
Yeah, it's a symbol of cleansing one's dharma before entering the presence of the divine.
Will this process, my head shifts towards Berg, hurt?
Not for normal people, but we don't know with him.
Agni, have you been through these doors before?
She's like looking around. She says, "I didn't even know this place was here."
Would you say?
I get to step in. I do a quick like, bless me world, for I've sinned. I'm a big fat liar. Bing.
Right.
And I do like little snaps. I add a little flair to my performance.
As that's happening, I turn to Agni. Would you say that you're well liked in this place, Agni?
Kind of squints at you. What are you getting at, Sully?
Well, if you go through the door first, perhaps they won't. Whatever.
Oh no, I can't go in there. It's a temple to the world.
Are you not allowed to? I do not know the rules.
She shakes her head. No. Ancient compact. The ones left behind are to be of the world, not in it. She shrugs. I couldn't go in there if I wanted to. Sacred ground.
Are you leaving us after we enter into this room?
I was assuming you would come back out.
What is it exactly that's going to help us get off of this island? Or this place, rather, that's behind this door? You've led us here. Can you tell us at least what we're looking for?
Utrick spoke of a backup plan. Something about if everything went wrong, there was always the experiment. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works, but it's probably in there. So you're a smart turtle. You'll figure it out.
I turned to Berg.
Exactly. I agree with her wholeheartedly.
Well, everything has gone wrong.
I turned to Berg and Berg, stay outside with Agni. It's not personal. They just.
Well, I don't like that idea at all. I'd much rather have Berg on our side, but you know, if Berg is too scared to go through the doors, I completely understand.
Don't use
all right.
Scared.
I turn and say, again, don't use his wit against him. It's the second time someone in our party has done that.
You're not scared, are you, Berg?
How dare you use my friend? So obvious.
I'm not using him. It's we're all in this together. I'm just saying in the for fairness sake.
Call him out. Use your word and your tongue better, and go through the doors. We're right behind you.
That's what I'm here for. So I did my whole thing, and I'm going to not like bash the door. I'm going to open them slowly, just in case like the rocks are ready to fall on my head. If I can open them.
Yeah, totally. Well, once you've like washed, you walk through the wafting incense. It makes you a little lightheaded. It's hot, pretty hot in here to begin with. And then there's a big metal rings on the door, so you can just grab them and pull them open.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So beyond is an enormous room, huge, big enough to fit the hundreds of people that are in it. They are laid in rows. So there's they're in groups of 5 in a row. So 5 and then 5 and then 5 out to 25. And then there's, you can't even count forward, just rows of them. They are all wearing these dark red and gold robes. And they have their foreheads pressed to the floor. So they're all like in supplication. And they're all chanting this deep kind of rolling chant, and like you can feel it like buzzing in your ears and like vibrating your bones a little bit because there's so many of them, and they have this like sonorous kind of rolling chant going on. At the far end of the room, you can kind of make out because it's quite far. It's like 600 or 700 feet. It's actually probably exactly 500 feet. You can make out at the end of the room through the haze of the incense. Like a larger object, a statue or something. And that's what you see. Also, it's hot as hell. Like just the heat of all these bodies, and then the candles on staffs on the wall that like light up the room.
That has to be the experiment.
The people or the statue?
The statue. They're doing something to it. They're praying to it, worshiping it. Who knows?
Well, isn't that what you people do?
Yes, but I've never seen this before. I don't know what they're doing to this statue.
Are they just ignoring our presence here?
Yeah, they don't seem to notice the door opening.
Now, do they look alive? Like, is their chest expanding? Like they're breathing and?
Are their eyes open?
We can't see their faces because they all have their foreheads like pressed to the floor.
Oh, okay. But they are breathing, like Zeke said.
I mean, they're not pausing in their chant. They may be like circular breathing, but you can't. Yeah, unless you get up close, you can't really tell.
I'm going to continue forward, slowly walking pace, looking to my sides, and like eyes open for any sign of movement, either of sign of life or sign of aggression.
There's a long sort of processional path ahead of you, and I think you would notice before you step out onto it, the path is made of sand. It's this like intricately drawn, like very like sometimes down to a line of single colored grains. This like tapestry of sand that lays before you. So if you want to walk from here to there, each footstep will, unless you're very, very dexterous, each footstep will like disperse some of the sand. If you want to try to walk on it without, you want to like ninja this shit and like walk so carefully you don't disturb the sand, you could certainly make an attempt at it.
So Okay, hold on. The sand is a tapestry.
So it's a mandala, but it's shaped like a long. It's instead of a circle, it's a long corridor. So someone like monks or craftsmen or someone has individually tapped like each grain of sand to create this 500-foot long like corridor ahead of you. So it appears at a glance to be like a tapestry, but when you look at it, it's actually made up of grains of sand.
Okay. And there's no way around. This is the only way, like.
Yeah, unless you like step over. Like all these people are basically like rowed up against each other. You can't really crawl over them.
Okay. And the chanting seems like it's coming from each and every one of them, right?
All of them are, yeah, they're chanting.
Okay. Well,
I don't think we have time to be polite.
That I can climb across this without disturbing, but I'm sure Solly can't with his big turtle feet, and then neither Berg. I'm not sure about you, Ramus. I haven't seen you dance, so I'm not sure how.
I'm very agile, sir.
All right. Well, do you think we just traipse in there, or should we try not to disturb it, or what say you?
Either we push all these stupid people out of the way, or we go right down the middle of the sand. And we don't have a lot of time for subtlety. We need to get there.
Sully, you said you can't float anybody anymore, right? Like you did before?
No. I sit there and think to myself and maybe studying their inventory. Not today.
Well, let me try and scout ahead at least before we do anything too sacrilegious and, I don't know, bring the world down upon our heads, so to speak. But let me see if I can make it to the destination without angering anybody too much.
Well, let me pray for you.
You see me like start to take off like my boot, like take off one boot, take off the other boot. Like limber up, like make fists with my toes in the in the dirt.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that reference.
No, I don't.
Okay. So this is gonna be a skill check. I think that this is probably stealth. And walking down this sand corridor without disturbing like a single grain of sand is gonna be a pretty heroic effort. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a DC 25. Stealth check.
Okay.
You have guidance, by the way, from Dan. So
I've guidance. Dan, you want to roll the d4?
Sure.
You can roll a d4 and add.
The tower is on your side.
Whatever you roll, you're gonna get an extra d4 or that 4 bonus to it.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god.
Nope. I rolled a 4 and a 2.
Roll.
Man.
Oof. All right. So
I have a plus 10 to stealth, and I can't sneak up on fucking anything. It's ridiculous.
Plus 14 total. So you start to walk out, and the first 100 feet or so are fine, but after that you can hear your heart pounding in your chest. Every step you lift your foot and go to place it, and you can just like you can barely hear the chanting now, just the rushing of blood. You're feeling lightheaded. You're either holding your breath or hyperventilating in turn, trying like desperately to focus. And it's not your step that gives you away, but you go to take a step, and the heat of the place has started to cause you to sweat. And when you lean forward to place a step, a single drop of sweat drips from your forehead and falls. And we see it in like super macro slow motion, hits the sand and throws it up in the air in a tiny little like drop. And all of a sudden, the chant stops, and all of the monks sit up. And when you turn back to your friends, you face them because they're facing kind of the way you are. They all have like featureless faces. They have their faces are just flat. And they all just kind of like sit up suddenly. The chanting stops. You hear through the incense at the end of the hall, you hear a gong ring 3 times. What do you do?
How far did he get down the path?
150 feet.
So he's pretty long way from us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the statue, baby. I'm going.
Yeah, you just want
I'm
to run.
booking.
You just want to run for it.
I'm out. Yep, I'm out now. I saw that shit happen. I saw everybody look at me, and I went, "Fuck this! I'm out."
So you turn and you run into the room towards the statue.
Yeah, but I just shoot a glance back at those guys, like, sorry.
Okay. So you run, each footstep kicking up a cloud of colored sand, and when you get to the end, as it resolves through the clouds of incense, you see Utrix. Only now he's like 80 feet tall and made out of solid gold.
Oh, we fucked up bad. We fucked up bad.
He's sitting cross-legged at the end of the room, sitting cross-legged, wearing a simple monk's robe. He has a big necklace, also of solid gold. These big beads. He has his eyes closed in placid contemplation. One hand over his heart, the other held up in a sacred hand gesture. And in his lap, there is a red glass flower. It's like closed, but as you approach, it's turning slowly, and the blossoms of this enormous red glass lotus are opening. You realize after the initial moment that it's actually just a statue of Utrix. It's not actually him. But there's a moment where you're like, and you're like, oh, and then turn your attention to the unfolding lotus. What's everybody else doing?
I'm trying to see.
Not even here, right?
No,
You're outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as he ran up there, they're all just looking at him. They're not even moving.
They're
or
not
anything?
looking at him. They just stopped chanting and like lifted up and are. You can't tell where they're looking, but their bodies are pointed forward.
Well, I guess if no one's like running towards him that we can see, then
No one's moving. Yeah.
I guess we'll follow him and go up to him.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you start approaching. You have a minute. Like the flower will unfold before your friends arrive. Is there anything you want to do, Polymat?
How big is the flower?
Probably like I don't know, 20 feet in diameter. It
Oh,
takes up
shit.
the whole lap area.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, yoink! But no, it's too big.
No,
I
it's-
can't do that.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right.
Huge, like glass, multi-segmented. You can kind of see through it as it unfolds because the redness of the leaves of the petals is only because they're overlapping. They're actually quite transparent, but as it turns and opens, you'll see what's inside.
Now, do I know this particular flower? Like, is it
It's a lotus for sure. Yep.
The lotus? Okay, for sure. All right. And what do lotuses represent?
They're sacred to the world, and to the cycle of reincarnation. They represent purity, and the like ascension from, because lotuses grow in mud, right? They grow in like ponds and mud, so they represent like goodness and purity rising up out of filth and trash, basically the world.
Gotcha. Is there anything else that catches my eye while this rose is unfurling?
I mean, besides all the other stuff, no, not really.
No, I mean, they're not looking. They can't look. The guys can't look, and they're not making an effort to like come get me.
No. You haven't you've interrupted the ritual, but you don't. I mean,
and the gold statue is not moving, not like not raising its foot to stomp me or nothing.
Nope. Sitting in placid, solid gold contemplation. Yep.
Okay. Is there any can I see what's inside the rose yet, or would I have to climb?
You can wait. It's like unfolding. You'll see like quite quickly. I just wanted to make sure you there wasn't anything like you want to climb up something or like draw a weapon or whatever. I wanted to give you the opportunity to do something.
Nope, I'm staying right here to see what's in that goddamn flower.
So Ramus and Sully, you arrive. You run up behind Kalimat as this lotus is unfolding.
Yeah, I turned to Ramus.
Yeah.
Ramus, have you seen a temple like this before?
The son of a bitch. He's trying to become a god. They're worshiping him.
Does it work like that?
He stole his soul because he wants to become a god. That was his backup plan. As she said, the divine never die.
How does this help us? I'm still processing all of this. Is the backup
This is
plan
the
to have him?
experiment. He wanted to become a god.
How did she expect us to bring this back?
I don't even know she knew what he was exactly doing.
So
Can you hear me
here's
go,
what-
guys?
Guys, so as it finishes unfolding, the petals of the lotus lay flat, and in it you see another stonework statue. It's a woman, and this is a much less like. This is the kind of marble statue that is meant to look like a real person. Like for a second, it kind of reminds you of the kitchen goddess, the sort of living stone, but it's not moving. It's a statue. She's lying with one hand on her chest. She's naked. She's lying with one hand on her chest. The other, her arm is like draped over the pedestal she's lying on, and it's just kind of like her fingers almost touching the ground. Her hair is in a complex series of braids that kind of like lay out around her head, and her stomach is enormous and round. It's also made of glass and inset into the statue and full of some kind of like dark fluid that is like bubbling slightly when you walk up. You hear like a boom and like water, the water kind of like shifts and you see like bubbles moving in it.
And this is all inside the flower.
Yeah, she was lying on the inside of the flower and it opened and now you see the statue with the tank where her pregnant belly would be.
Well, that's not what I expected.
When the lotus finishes unfolding, there is this eerie, unanimous rustle of robes and the sound of like 555 supplicant foreheads touching the ground gently. And they all like bow when the lotus is unfolded.
Oh, Remus, I suggest you keep the cube far away from this thing. There's a pregnant lady here with something inside of her that I imagine would be looking for a soul.
Wait,
I don't know though.
Ramus, no.
Or she's giving birth to a god.
At mention of the cube, Ramus, you can feel it. Like, where do you have it in the pouch or something? You can feel it like starting to warm.
Hold on, Ramus. We need to take that soul down there. That's our only way out. That's what she meant. Willingly or not, we need to take that there.
This pile of liquid or the soul.
The soul. We need to take the soul. He can't be reborn unless the soul is there.
Are they here now?
Yeah, they're right behind you. They've run up behind you.
Okay. Well, you're seeing this, right?
I can't believe it, but yes, I am seeing it. Ramus, the soul. We have mere moments, I'm sure.
Unlike a mechanical change, like not like a door sliding open, but like a person moving, an odd biological way. The statue, the statue of the woman, opens her mouth when you walk up, when you get close to her, Ramus. Keeps her eyes closed, but her jaw just like opens like a person would, and then is still again.
It wants the soul.
That's what I've been. Ramus, we have to do this now. He will reward us for.
That is against everything I believe in.
Well, I don't believe in any of it, and I grab the soul.
So you want to try to
I
take
reach
it
out and grab the soul. Yeah.
Okay, I assume Ramus, you're gonna try to keep it from him.
Yeah, like this is
Yeah, I
sacrilege.
figured.
Like to.
Okay. Well, just both of you make I guess Sully make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, good. Ramus.
God damn it.
And Ramus make you're playing keep away. I guess you both just make sleight of hand checks. You're both terrible at this.
Adam.
Yeah?
You totally just stole my fucking idea. Like, I was going to break them up.
Yeah.
Guys.
So,
You know.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. But they can try. They're gonna tangle over it. So
Okay.
yeah, sleight of hand check, both of you, to try to like keep hold of it. Whoever
Oh,
wins
fuck,
has
17.
the cube.
I'm gonna use inspiration.
Okay.
Fuck, 12.
Oof. All right, so Ramus, you're like, what does this look like?
Like, I think he's trying to get at it, and I'm like holding his head back,
Well,
just like, no.
I'm a turtle, so it's literally.
Yeah, you're like coming at it real
Yeah,
slow.
and you just
I'm
move it
like,
away real quick, and I'm like, well, I can't compete
just
with
as
that.
you almost reach it, I back up a little. Just to make you have to keep going.
Ramus, there's no time for this. I understand this is sacrilege, but would you rather die?
There has to be some other way out of here. If we give this soul to him, we're making a god. Do you understand that? The consequences of that?
No, but I know what living and dying is.
And remember, the experiment wasn't finished, right? Like otherwise, he would have undergone apotheosis. So whatever you have is not like this. The soul would be all charged up. It would be glowing and full of powerful energy. But it seems like it's, I don't know. There's something. It's not going to be a perfect process here.
Can I talk to the lady in the flower? Hello. Hello.
She's a statue, so she doesn't respond to you.
Okay. Worth a shot.
But I think at the sound of your voice, there's probably some kind of response from the tank, right? From her like belly. There's more like bubbling, and you can see something curled up and floating in there, tethered to the internal machinery of this temple engine. Little dark-skinned thing floating around in it.
I kind of tap. Can I tap on the belly? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, tap on it. There's no response, but
Okay.
so meanwhile,
when
y'all, sorry, go ahead, Zeke.
No, when I tap on it, does it sound hollow or does it sound solid?
I mean, it's solid glass and it's full of fluid.
So it doesn't sound like tapping on a fishbowl. Why I'm asking is because does it feel like if I had a hammer I could break it?
I mean, barring the fact that you don't actually know what it's made of and there's all this magic shit going on, yeah, like if you saw this laying around somewhere and you took a hammer to it, you'd probably assume it would break.
Okay, cool.
So meanwhile, Berg, you and Agni are outside. And she looks at you. The doors are shut. She looks at you and she says, you know, for what it's worth, I think you probably would be safe in there.
How do you know that?
I mean, you're still... She gestures at you. Mortal, I guess? That sounds bad.
This area was made by him. The fountain was made by him and affected me. There's no way to know.
I'm beginning to think that Utrix's main craft was counterfeiting. I mean, first, he tries to replicate the fountain, and then he's trying to, like, she looks at her shoulder, whatever he's doing here, he's a big faker. The thing about reincarnation, this whole thing, is that you're born with what you got, and you make the best of it, and then you die, and you try more the next time. That's not how it goes for us, but for you and him and everybody else, that's just how it works. You can't short-circuit the system. You can't make yourself a new fountain just because you don't like the way you were born. I mean, we are what we are, right? And you're still you. I'm not allowed to go in there because some promise my father made. But you were born. Your soul is... She keeps wanting to like touch you, but she knows she'll burn you. Like you're in there. You have a role to play. I don't know. She says, I think your friends need you.
There's more in here than just my soul. And that's what I fear. but I will try.
Berg tries, to walk in.
Okay. Do you like do the like ritual cleansing first, or you just like fuck it and just walk inside?
Berg literally does like then just fucking throws the thing, like whatever.
Yeah. Splash, splash, splash.
Goes
That's
through the
whatever.
motions.
Yep, sure. Okay. So you head over to the door and pull it open. And you see everyone in the room with their head down again, and down at the end of the hall, you see your friends. You can hear them talking. And what do you do? You want to walk up to them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you start headed that way. All right. So meanwhile, what's the decision, folks in front of the altar?
It's turned into the big brother, little brother thing where I'm just like, Ramus, put the soul in the thing. We have to do this.
I don't believe we were sent here. I don't believe in coincidences. I serve the god of destruction. And what better thing to destroy than something that is just utterly sacrilege? We were sent here to stop this experiment and destroy it.
But again, at the cost of your own life. We will die, Ramus. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. Calimont, tell him.
Well, I can't convince him he doesn't care. He doesn't have a soul to lose. Even if we were to try and destroy this thing, how would we do that?
Yeah, I mean, technically, and to a lesser degree, and not in a way that Ramus would probably think about or understand, but you're also kind of a heretical blasphemy. So...
It's true.
Well, I'm special.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. And Ramus has always been that way. I'm not saying Ramus would suddenly be like, oh, wait, but just, speaking cosmologically.
Well, here comes Berg. I'll give it to him, and he can decide what to do with it.
Oh, great. Well, good. You two will twist him and make him do whatever you want. I've seen this show before.
I will keep my mouth shut. I'm staying out of this. I've seen so many things. You know what? In fact, I might just go walk out and hang with Agni.
So Berg, you walk up. It looks like your friends are in the middle of an argument.
Yeah. Berg walks up and is just like,
What is going on? What is?
Berg like takes a second to look around, everything that's in here.
Yeah, I look at Ramus. Twist away. Let's get this show on the road.
Well, Berg, here you go. This is a soul. You put it in the machine, you birth a new god, and unspeakable things could happen. Or you smash it, and also more unspeakable things could happen. We don't know. What would you like to do?
One of those depends on you living and dying. So,
We could die either way.
well, logic would say that he would save us for creating a god. I mean, how?
If he even becomes resurrected. This doesn't look natural. And as you said, it's never been done before. Even he doesn't know what would happen.
So what is
Adam,
the
how big is the cube?
It's like a couple inches to a side, 2 inches maybe.
What did you say, Zeke?
What is the experiment anyway? Like how, if Inanna wanted this, what did she want us to bring back? The cube? The entire golden statue?
Probably the soul, I would think. It's the linchpin in all of this. Without the soul, none of this works.
Well, even a god turned that soul down, said we shouldn't have it. Do you think Inanna would be any different?
I do not...
I mean, the only one I know that was comfortable actually having the thing is Utrix.
I don't pretend to know how the Sahir think, but if I was one, I would want that right there.
Can you destroy it?
How does one destroy a soul?
No, not the soul, the container.
Where does
So
the
the
soul
soul
go?
will go back to where it belongs. It finds its way back to the pool, like when someone dies. The container is just like a body, I would imagine.
That's what's supposed to happen. There shouldn't be, like, the physical object of the soul shouldn't exist. It just shouldn't be a thing, because when the body dies, the soul
Some
is freed
trickery.
and returns to heaven. Yeah, so there shouldn't be a physical. That's what's so weird, and that's what Agni was so upset about.
Yeah.
Was that like here in simulacra of reality, the soul should still be an ephemeral object. In heaven, souls are like physical objects that get transmitted back to ephemera to be embodied in a person. But there's no object. The soul is not a thing.
Does Calumet know about Ramus's vision of the man with the 6 arms and that stuff? Have we discussed that or not? I don't know.
I think we all had the vision at the same time.
Yeah.
We all did. Okay. Is there a way to call the 6-armed man to come claim this soul back to where it belongs?
We don't know his name. How would we do that?
Heavenly lost and found. Yeah.
Well, you say we like you can speak for everyone, Salihafa. Ramus, do you have any ideas?
What was the question again? Sorry.
I put my hand out and just wait for the response of no. But yeah, go ahead and repeat the question.
Do you have any idea who the 6-armed man with all the souls behind him, like he was cataloging them? Do you have any idea who he is?
I don't know who he is, but I know what he does. He's the manager of souls. He's in heaven.
Do you know how to call upon him to take one of his stray souls home?
That's what I was thinking. Heaven would desperately want this back. This could be our ticket in.
Maybe trade this soul for yours back.
Well, there is an idea.
Well, hold on, that seems like the stupidest trade I've ever heard of. Look at him. There's so many different things we could get besides Ramus's soul back. He's perfectly fine without one.
Can you really put a price on a soul, though?
I can. Your soul is not worth Utrix's soul. I'll tell you that much.
Why? Look, his isn't anything special. Look at it. It's just a little box.
Can you create an entire world? A fake fountain?
I've created many worlds in my imagination.
Well, someone must make a decision. I know where I stand. Ramus knows where he
While they're
stands.
talking at him, I would like to get a closer look at the inside of this. Like, is there a baby in there, or like, what can I see floating inside the container?
Make a perception check.
25.
Yeah. So you take a look. You get up on your tiptoes and like look at the thing, and yeah, inside this fluid, there is there's an infant, a human infant, little baby, little newborn. You can see his dark skin. He's got his little eyes closed, floating in the fetal position in the middle of this goop. He's got an umbilical cord coming up out of his belly, roping down into the darkness.
Now, I would like to make a religion check of how, if there's any like recorded history of a baby being born without a soul, like, because it's probably weird that a baby would be here without a soul. Like, has that ever been happened?
Well,
before?
the question of when life begins is a complicated and very political one in the Court of Swords.
Come and sit down with me, champ.
Usually, the soul is coaxed into the child at birth as part of the birthing ritual, right? So the soul as an ephemeral object floats about the mother for the time in which the baby is being gestated, but doesn't always attach. And when the baby is born, that's why you have to have a priest present, because when the baby is born, the priest makes the correct rituals to introduce the soul and the child. There have been recorded instances where that doesn't happen, where there is no priest, the ritual isn't performed. Those children tend to have shitty lives. They grow up to be bad adults, but it's probably because they're treated like soulless husks instead of the fact that they actually are. It's hard to know. There's no way for humans to be certain about these things, but generally that's a thing. It is possible for a child to be born with those.
Adam, can I ask, can you repeat what you told me I felt or saw when I was unconscious?
This room.
This is the room that I felt?
This is the room. This is the temple that you saw. Yep. When you said, "Where's Utrix?"
Meanwhile, Berg is still just holding this stupid soul.
Stupid cube, yeah.
I think Berg's just looking at it like,
Why did you give this to me?
Because you're impartial.
So what? What now?
It means he doesn't have to feel guilty about whatever you decide to do. That's what it means.
Oh, so a coward.
Your words, not mine.
Berg. In all seriousness, you have a choice to make. One, put the cube in the soul and reunite it with the infant, and perhaps give birth to a god. Or maybe try to destroy one or both of them, and in turn maybe destroy all of us. Is that fair, Solly and Ramus?
Almost as if I've ignored what you just said, I go, I have an idea.
like, yeah, all that, but hold on.
Ramus, can you bring me back from the dead?
Yes. But why?
What if you killed me, I went to heaven and bargained? You brought me back.
It's not really how it works.
That's not how.
What happens when you die? How long would I need to see something else?
I mean, you don't know for sure, right? There lots of different religions have thoughts about this.
Man,
You might make it to heaven's waiting room.
no, it's so funny because we've gone from like the big conversations that 8-year-olds ask their parents, like, "Where did I come from? What happens when I die?"
I mean, my idea is that I die, I clearly go somewhere. I immediately say, I have a soul to bargain for that is not my own. Get us out of this place, and then I get brought back.
Yeah, I mean, Ramus, make a religion check.
Okay.
Yeah, this has become flatliners. Also, we're due for a break.
Yeah, let's take a break, and I'll come back with your answers. I'll come back with a 10 worth of answers.
Okay.
Answer.
Yeah. Adam's gonna go just think about life and what it means to die and where it goes.
I'm gonna go eat a bunch of mushrooms, and we'll see you in 5 minutes.
All right. We'll be right back with more Court of Swords as we hit all the hard questions today here on this episode, episode 60. We'll be right back with part 2. We'll see you in just a bit. See you then.